It was a quiet Wednesday morning at Crestview Bank, the kind of morning where sunlight spilled across marble floors, making everything gleam, making everyone feel calm, except for the tension building at Teller 3. Jamal Carter stood there, hands folded neatly, trying not to let his calm demeanor betray the storm rising inside. He had come to the bank to finalize a straightforward loan application, a minor business expansion for his tech startup, a company that was growing steadily but not flashy enough to draw attention, at least, that's what he thought. Before we start, hit that like and subscribe button, then comment where you're watching from. Your support keeps these powerful stories coming. Then came Angela Reynolds, the branch manager, with her sharp heels clicking across the floor like a metronome of judgment. Her reputation preceded her, meticulous, relentless, and known for belittling clients she deemed beneath her. And Jamal, for some reason she couldn't quite put her finger on, had that look that made her tighten her jaw. "Mr. Carter," she said, voice dripping with false sweetness, "I've reviewed your application. But honestly, I don't see how you qualify for a loan of this size." Jamal smiled politely. "I've provided all the documentation you requested. My business projections are strong, my credit history is clear, and..." Angela cut him off with a sharp wave of her hand. Yes, I've seen your documents. But frankly, this seems ambitious. Maybe over-ambitious for someone with your profile." The word hung in the air, heavier than the chandeliers above. Profile. Ambitious. The subtle undertone, the implicit judgment, made Jamal's pulse quicken, but he stayed calm. "I assure you, my plan is sound," he said evenly. Angela tilted her head, her eyes narrowing. "Sound? Mr. Carter, we deal with serious investors here. People who know how to handle money responsibly. Do you?" A murmur ran through the lobby. Jamal felt the eyes of other clients on him, some sympathetic, some curious. He clenched his jaw, aware that Angela had already set the tone to humiliate, to make him feel small. "I do," he replied. "I've been managing my company's accounts for years. And I've successfully completed multiple projects with ROI exceeding expectations. I'm confident in my ability to manage this loan responsibly." Angela smirked, walking around the counter like a predator circling its prey. "Confidence is nice, Mr. Carter, but confidence doesn't guarantee success. You'll forgive me if I have my doubts. Perhaps," she leaned closer, her tone mocking, "you're simply not cut out for this level of responsibility." Something in Jamal snapped, not with anger, but with deliberate precision. He straightened his posture, drew in a deep breath, and then smiled, not the polite, deflated smile he had given earlier, but one filled with controlled authority. Before he could speak, a new presence entered the bank. A woman, tall, elegant, radiating power with every step, entered the lobby. The room seemed to pause. Clients whispered. Tellers froze. And Angela, caught mid-lecture, didn't notice the sound of her own name being spoken in hushed awe. "Angela Reynolds?" the woman said, voice calm but commanding. "I believe you're addressing my husband as if he's incapable of running a business?" Angela froze. Every inch of her face drained of color. Jamal's pulse remained steady. He did not need to speak, his presence alone was enough. I, Angela stammered. The woman's eyes narrowed. "You've just embarrassed my husband in front of my clients. In my bank. Are you aware of who you're speaking to?" Jamal finally stepped forward, calm, almost amused. "Angela, I think you understand now." The woman smiled faintly and removed her sunglasses. The name on the gold nameplate caught the sunlight. Carter Enterprises, the sign read. And just like that, the room knew. This was no ordinary couple. The woman turned to Jamal, kissed his cheek, and said softly, "Don't worry. I've got this." Angela's hands shook. You're the wife of?" Jamal's lips curved slightly. "Yes. And she's also my business partner." The woman's presence shifted the energy in the room. Clients whispered. Tellers stared. Angela's smirk vanished, replaced by panic. She opened her mouth again, but the words wouldn't come. "I suggest," the woman said slowly, voice like ice and steel combined, "you reconsider your position. Not only do I have full authority here, but I also oversee all client relationships. And we do not tolerate unprofessionalism, nor do we tolerate bias." Jamal's calm voice added, "Angela, perhaps this is an opportunity to review your decision-making criteria. Because right now, your judgment seems based more on appearance than merit." Angela's face turned a deep red. She sputtered. I can explain." "You can do more than explain," the woman interrupted. "You can correct. You will approve this loan immediately. And you will apologize to my husband for the humiliating way you treated him." The lobby was silent. Even the clients leaned forward, watching the spectacle of power, irony, and justice unfold. Angela's voice cracked. Yes, of course. I apologize." Jamal shook his head slightly, smiling faintly. Thank you. That will suffice. The woman turned to Jamal, taking his hand. Let's go. You've got a meeting to close, and I've already scheduled investors to visit. Jamal glanced at Angela one last time. And remember, he said quietly but firmly, never underestimate someone based on assumptions. You learn nothing that way. As they walked out, the lobby buzzed with whispers. Clients looked at Jamal with newfound respect. Angela sat down heavily, stunned. But the moment of victory was short-lived. Outside the bank, a sleek black SUV pulled up. Jamal's phone buzzed, a message from an unknown number. We know about the loan. And your wife. Be careful. Someone is watching. Jamal's eyes narrowed. His wife noticed. Trouble? Maybe, he said. But whatever it is, we're ready. As they got into the car, the camera-like shutters of nearby buildings reflected shadows moving in ways too calculated to be coincidental. Someone had been waiting. Someone had seen the humiliation. Someone was planning retaliation. Jamal clenched his fist, but his calm returned. We handle this like we always do, he said. Smart. Precise. Together. His wife smiled, squeezing his hand. And they'll learn the hard way, never underestimate us. And as the SUV drove away, Angela Reynolds sat in the bank lobby, frozen, realizing that the very man she had humiliated, quiet, respectful, seemingly ordinary, was untouchable in ways she couldn't yet understand. But outside the city skyline, in a high-rise overlooking the bank, a figure watched through binoculars. Calm, meticulous, and patient. Taking notes. Smiling faintly. And in the shadows, the voice whispered into a secure phone line, they think this is over. They have no idea what's coming next. Jamal's victory had been complete. Justice had been served. Respect had been reclaimed. The lesson had been clear. But the war was just beginning. Jamal and his wife, Monique, rode in the sleek black SUV, windows up, eyes scanning the city streets. The unknown message had unsettled them, but Jamal remained calm. We don't react emotionally, he said. We strategize. Monique nodded. Agreed. But whoever sent that, they know something about us. Back at Crestview Bank, Angela Reynolds stared at the empty lobby, her hands trembling. She hadn't just underestimated Jamal, she'd humiliated him in front of clients, and now the couple had left, confident, untouchable. Suddenly, the figure in the high-rise across the street adjusted the binoculars, leaning closer to capture Jamal's departure. A faint smirk crossed his face. So they think they won, he whispered into his phone. We'll see about that. Jamal parked at their headquarters and stepped out. Monique followed, arms folded, eyes sharp. We need to make sure every detail is secure, she said. We can't let someone sabotage what we've built. Inside the building, Jamal reviewed emails, messages, and security footage. Every camera angle from the bank had been analyzed, every shadow accounted for. Yet, there was something, the feeling that they were being watched, something outside their perimeter. Monique leaned over his shoulder. We need a plan. Whoever this is, they're patient. Calculated. They won't make a move until they think we're unaware. Jamal exhaled, his jaw tight. Then we stay 3 steps ahead. At that moment, the phone rang. Unknown number. Jamal answered calmly. This is Jamal Carter. A distorted voice spoke, congratulations on humiliating Angela Reynolds. Impressive. But your wife, she's a threat. And threats must be neutralized. Jamal's eyes narrowed. Who is this? Silence. Then a click. Monique's hand landed on his shoulder. They're watching. They want a reaction. Jamal leaned back, breathing controlled. Then we give them nothing. They want fear, we give strategy. They want panic, we give precision. And when they strike, he paused, voice hardening, they'll regret underestimating us. That night, from the high-rise across the street, the watcher reviewed his notes. A smile crept across his face. They think they're untouchable. Tomorrow, they'll learn the cost of arrogance. But Jamal and Monique weren't sleeping. They were planning, analyzing, preparing. Every client interaction, every bank transaction, every route from their home to work, scrutinized. Every weakness anticipated. When the sun rose the next morning, Jamal walked into Crestview Bank, not as a client, not as a victim, but as a strategist in control of every variable. Monique followed, confident, unshaken, the power couple the city whispered about. Angela Reynolds arrived minutes later, clipboard in hand, still pale from yesterday's humiliation. Mr. Carter, she began, voice trembling. Jamal stopped, smiled politely. Good morning, Angela. I trust you've reviewed your professional conduct policy? Angela's lips quivered. Yes, of course. Good, Jamal said smoothly. Let's keep it that way. The day passed without incident. Clients whispered, staff watched, and Angela learned a lesson she wouldn't forget: appearances are deceiving, and underestimating someone can be catastrophic. But outside, the watcher moved to another location, adjusting plans, preparing to escalate. A faint warning in the wind whispered of future threats. Jamal glanced at Monique as they left the bank together. "Whatever comes next," he said, "we handle it together." Monique smiled. "And we always win." And as they walked away, the city lights reflected off the glass buildings, a silent warning: even in victory, the game is never truly over. Someone, somewhere, is always watching. Justice had been served. Respect had been reclaimed. And the lesson was clear: underestimate the underdog at your own peril. But the shadow of the watcher loomed, and in the quiet of the city, a single thought echoed: the fight is far from over. The end. Comment below if you know you enjoyed the story. Also, don't forget to follow, subscribe, and turn on the notification button for more stories coming up.